Get cool stuff for what you were going to do anyway. Drink beer. With Buy Beer, Get Gear from Labatt, you can just snap a photo of your receipt and upload it to the website to rack up points for exclusive merch. Get points for every purchase, whether you're grabbing a pint on draft, a case for a party, or a tall boy at the stadium. Any size, any product, anywhere you buy Labatt. Buy beer, get gear. Sign up now at rewards.labattusa.com.
Ford, Burdick Toyota, Burdick Lexus, and Burdick BMW postgame show with Giovanni Heater.
Well, the horror show continues for Syracuse football. Another disappointing outing in the Dome for a Syracuse football program that feels like the blunders just won't stop. The offense struggles again, and they fall at the hands of Bill Belichick and the North Carolina Tar Heels on Halloween night inside the JMA. Giovanni Heater with you, welcoming you in studio here in Armory Square, Galaxy Media. The home, as always, of the RomanoCars.com pregame show, and, of course, the Burdick Lexus, Burdick BMW, Burdick Ford, Burdick Toyota postgame show as well. The question coming into today, folks, was trick or treat on Halloween night, and the decision that was made to start Joe Filardi, the true freshman, at the quarterback spot in place of Ricky Collins. And it was a trick. It was a trick. Syracuse's offensive sputters continued. I said in the pregame show that I didn't think there was a world in which it could get any worse. I was proven to be wrong as far as Syracuse's passing performance went tonight. The final score inside the Dome, again, a defeat at the hands of Bill Belichick in North Carolina, 27-10. The Tar Heels came, saw, conquered, picked up their biggest win of the season up to this point. This was a Tar Heels squad that was sputtering at 2-5 on the year, had not won an ACC conference game. They have exercised that demon now, and unfortunately it comes at the hands of a Syracuse team that is reeling and really spiraling out of control at this point. Now with 3 games left on the schedule, 2 of which against likely top 10 opponents, and then 1 right here in the Dome to wrap things up against Boston College. 315-437-7644 is the number to call. Feel free to give us a ring. Feel free to air your grievances. Loving to hear from all of you, as always, right here on Cuse Sports Talk and ESPN Syracuse. If you're listening on 97.7, 100.1, we wish you a safe drive home from the Dome or wherever you may be heading for the rest of your Friday night. And if you're joining us on Cuse Sports Talk, be sure to follow along in the chat and give us your thoughts on Syracuse's 27-10 loss at the hands of North Carolina. With that, we're going to go to the phone lines. The phone lines, like I mentioned, are open. 315-437-7644 is the number to call. And we go to the phone lines for the first time tonight. Who we got on the phone here? Trying to pull it up on the screen, and it's giving me a little bit of trouble. So who we got?
Pretty recently. First, before we even get to the quarterback situation, the tackling out there, that looked like Fran Babers. Like, that was the Fran Babers era of tackling. It just hasn't changed. It looked terrible. As for the quarterback situation, listen, I know Ricky Collins isn't the best, but he ain't even that bad. You put Luke Carney out there to start the second half, you don't even let him throw the ball. That's like saying, oh, man, this movie stinks. I've never seen it. I just know it stinks. But you don't ever even see it. So how do you know it stinks? You don't even give him a chance. You know, Fran Brown likes to talk about dart. Right now I'd like to throw a dart at his head because he completely gave that game away just to prove a point against Ricky Collins instead of win a football game. Thanks for taking my call.
I appreciate you. That's Jake in Iowa hanging out as always. We always get to hear from Jake, whether it's throughout the week, but especially part of our post-game coverage. Jake always likes to chime in. We appreciate him all the way out in Iowa giving his thoughts. And, I mean, it's tough. I do disagree with you, Jake, that Fran that Fran did this to prove a point to Ricky or anything like that. I don't think that's the case. I mean, Fran loves Ricky. He said he's like a little brother to him, said that during the week. I don't think there's anything where he's trying to prove any points to anybody. He's just trying to go out there and win a football game. And it's hard to blame Fran for trying to see, okay, what do we got in this guy? Because it didn't work with X, it didn't work with Y. Maybe we go to option Z and see if there's a spark there, see if the kid's got something. I really don't blame Fran for making the move at the quarterback spot and going with Joe Filardi to get the start. He said he was throwing a nice ball in practice. Kid's a good athlete, 4-star lacrosse recruit. I know people knock that because he's a lacrosse player. Let's not forget that Syracuse lacrosse is 11-time national champions and the most historic, illustrious program in the history of college lacrosse, right? And I understand that he's a walk-on for the football team, and I get all of that. He still threw for over 3,000 yards, had 43 touchdowns to 3 interceptions in high school. And it's New York State high school football, so it's a little different. Doesn't have the same pedigree as some of the other states, but his numbers in high school as a quarterback were nothing to snuff at. So I really don't blame Fran for trying to see if there was any kind of a spark in Joe Filardi. It just simply didn't end up working, right? You look at the box score and you look at some of the numbers here for Syracuse's 27-10 loss at the hands of North Carolina on a Friday night in the Dome. And Filardi just didn't have it, right? Filardi ends up going out there, putting up probably the worst quarterback performance we've seen all season, which that kind of says a lot. That kind of says a lot with what you've seen the last 4 weeks and the 4-game losing streak for Syracuse at this point. Final numbers for Filardi, he goes 4 of 18, 39 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. That's crazy. 39 passing yards in the game for Syracuse is literally insane. I've never seen anything like that. Syracuse only amasses 149 yards of total offense in this game. They had 110 yards on the ground. Yassine Willis had 15 carries for 61 yards. 39 yards through the air, 4 completions out of your quarterback is preposterous. I've literally never seen anything like that in a box score in the sport of college football. That was not on the bingo card. Taking a look at the drive chart for Syracuse, this is how things went for the Cuse today when it came to the drive chart. Punt, field goal, punt, end of half, punt, fumble, turnover on downs. That's how it went for the Cuse today on offense. The lone touchdown, that was the scoop and score. Devin Grant did a nice job to jar the ball loose. Scooped up by Anwar Sparrow, and he took it to the crib for Syracuse's lone touchdown of the game. That field goal drive for Syracuse, they went 13 plays, 50 yards in 5 minutes, 41 seconds. That was their best offensive burst, if you will, in the ball game. 315-437-7644 is the number to call. Give us a ring. Let us hear what your thoughts are, how you are feeling about this Syracuse loss. 27-10, the final score in the Dome. I got plenty more to say, plenty more to unpack. We'll come back and talk about just that. Oh, we got the phone lines right now, though, so we'll stick around for a minute. We'll stick around as Paul's answering the phone as we speak. We appreciate Paul McCoy out in the studio putting in the work. We got Ryan in Boston on the line. Let's go ahead and go to Ryan in Boston. Ryan, how you doing, man?
Hey, good. How are you, Gio? I appreciate you taking my call.
Of course, man. Appreciate you ringing in.
Yeah, of course, man. I've been listening to the show for a while. Excited to have you on board. Been loving your stuff so far.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Just wanted to give a quick comment. Or maybe a question, rather. What do you think Fran Brown can say to 39 yards in the air? I mean, that's not... I remember high school ball days. 39 yards is despicable in a high school game. Never mind in a Division I college game. I mean, that's not even just quarterback play. That's, just all around, just just atrocity. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on what Fran Brown can do to excuse that, and then where do we go from there? Do we bring Ricky Collins back out? How do we change that going forward? Thanks, and have a good night.
Yeah, appreciate you, Ryan. Thanks again for the call, man. It's a great question. Like I said, I've simply never seen anything like it. 39 yards through the air. That's the power of Google. I want to Google when the last time a college football team passed for only 39 yards in a game at the power conference level. I mean, it's insane. It's absolutely insane. It's incompetency at a whole different level. Like, the inability to pass the ball was just staggering. You didn't see completions because you only saw 4 of them the entire night. I mean, every ball was thrown short, was thrown 5 yards this way, that way, behind. It just really wasn't close. I do think, Ryan, to answer your question, I think you got to go back to Ricky. I don't see a world where Ricky was worse than this, especially because of what Ricky showed with his ability on the ground to run the ball a little bit. Now, there were a couple bursts, couple of runs here and there for Filardi. Same thing with Luke Carney, but I still think Ricky's actually the best runner out of the group. I'm also still shocked that they have shown nothing for Jakari Williams. I'm stunned by that. He's the one that's been around an extra year compared to all these guys. He's been here longer than even Ricky. I know Ricky's a redshirt sophomore, but I'm floored. Jakari Williams must be so bad in practice that they're not even giving him a shot. And instead they're throwing out the walk-on true freshman to go and start this ball game in the ACC against North Carolina on a Friday night. I don't know what they're seeing out of Jakari Williams in practice, but I'm very surprised that they're not giving him a shot. Ryan, to answer your question, I think you got to go back to Ricky because it was not as bad as it was tonight. Wasn't great, but we go back to that 2 things can be true at the same time, right? Doesn't mean it's going to be a good chance to win the game, but he might still give you the best chance. Doesn't mean it's good. Doesn't mean you're going to win, but it might still be the best option on the table to play Ricky Collins going the rest of the way. So we'll see. We're going to take this next call, and then we're going to go to break right after. We got Drew in Syracuse on the line. Drew, how you doing?
Hey, guys. Thank you for taking my call, first of all. So I want to say that.
Always.
What I'm really upset about, and I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this tomorrow with Paulie and Steve, is that I'm angry that Fran Brown lied and said that Ricky Collins and Stephen Jelly were neck and neck. If you want to tell me that those 2 were neck and neck, it's not even close. Like, I'm sorry, I hate to say that, but it's not even close. Like, Stephen Jelly was clearly the front runner and the quarterback won. But it just pains me that, and I would run through a wall for Fran Brown, like, because that guy just always says the right thing and does the right thing for the SM Syracuse. But for that one, he did lie and say that they were neck and neck. So I just want to get your opinion on that, and thank you.
Yeah, appreciate you ringing in, Drew, always. No, it's tough. It's tough, man. And that's the opinion of so many different people in the fan base right now, is they feel that Fran lied to them. And Fran, from the get-go, had always been so transparent and forthcoming and really wasn't afraid to just say whatever, right? And a lot of people felt like he kind of went against his word on that with the whole quarterback situation. The only thing I would argue with that situation is this. I don't know what everybody wanted him to say. Because in a perfect world, you were never going to find out that Ricky Collins wasn't as good as Steve Angeli or wasn't 1% worse than Steve Angeli, right? He kept saying 51% Ricky and 49% Steve or whatever. And that's only because Ricky was here in the spring, whatever it was. Now the proof is in the pudding and the evidence is there that clearly Ricky struggled in the spring, and a lot of the things that were said by Trevor Pena, who now plays at Penn State, were probably true. And he said a big part of his departure and decision to leave was because he didn't trust that he had someone at the quarterback spot that could get him the ball. And they went out and got Steve, and they clearly went out and got Steve because they felt like they needed to in order to be successful. Steve gets hurt, you get Ricky, and you see how it works out. But in a perfect world for Fran, nobody ever finds out that Ricky was that many strides behind Steve because Steve's healthy throughout the whole year, and you never have to find that out. And the other thing I'll say to that is, look, like, you don't know what these guys are making, right, when it comes to NIL, who's getting what, who's getting X amount of dollars, whatever, where that's coming from. And it's just a way for justifying who's getting paid what. You're justifying that this player is getting allocated this amount of the funds, this percentage of the funds, the resources that the football team is giving out, right? You're justifying that, saying it's a close competition, and that's why you're paying this quarterback. I mean, Fran, I'm not saying groundbreaking things here. Fran literally said the words, and I quote, that's why I went out and bought two. That's why I bought another one. So, yeah, they're buying their quarterbacks. That's what you do. That's the modern era of college football. Ricky Collins is making a lot of money. Steve Angeli's making a lot of money. I think Ricky might be making more because he was here first, and that's just how that works out sometimes. Don't know it for a fact, so don't quote me, but, you know, that's the situation. So, I'm not mad at Fran. I think it's a situation where it's like, what did you want him to do? He's just trying to instill confidence in everybody on his team. You want your guys to feel as confident as possible because, like it was proven, you're one play away from going in. And that's exactly what happened. We got to take a break. 315-437-7644 is the number to call if you want to chime in, give your thoughts on Syracuse's 27-10 loss at the hands of North Carolina in the Dome. As always, you're listening to Cuse Sports Talk and ESPN Syracuse.
Burdick Toyota, Burdick Lexus, and Burdick BMW are proud supporters.
What's up, chat? Really?
So Barger walk or hit by pitch. Barger doubles, gets caught under the wall. Runner second and third.
Yeah.
Glass now comes in tomorrow night starter.
Yeah. Oh, so it is going to 7.
It's going 7. Pops out. Gets ready to pop out to second base. Andres Jimenez lines the ball to Kike, doubles up Barger at second.
No shot.
Yeah. Incredible.
That's sick. Yo, can they hear the ads? What's up, chat? How we doing? Feel free to drop anything in the chat, and we'll chat it up. Yeah, we'll have the press conference for you as soon as we get it. Jordan's there on site, so I mean he's just gonna let us know. Got the phone ringing whenever, Paul. Just give you a heads up since you were in here with me. Paul's already on it. He doesn't need me. Who am I kidding? Yeah, we're gonna get the press conference, guys. Don't you worry. We'll have that press conference. Carney was a top 10 pocket passer and can't call play for the kids. Ooh, put him under the microscope. Oh, snap. Cuse is in the house going after Nunzio. All across the country that you can. This level thing is average massive. Portal high school recruiting, sure. Yeah. No, you're not wrong, guys. Honestly. Check out the YouTube chat. What do we got? I don't know that Ricky would have won the game, but the defense was playing good for as long as it could. Oh, boy, we got Jake in Iowa. Jake's mad at me. Jake called back in to disagree some more. I love it. I love it. Keep them coming. Yo, be sure, too, guys, we got hoops on Monday. I'm going to do the pregame and postgame, so be sure to come hang out. Be ready to call in. Unfortunately, hoops a little bit slow out of the gate, slower than maybe you'd like against the likes of Buffalo and Pace. Hoops rules, this isn't D1 football. It's tough. It's tough. It was 39 passing yards. It's crazy.
On CuseSportsTalk.com. This is the Burdick Ford, Burdick Toyota, Burdick Lexus, and Burdick BMW postgame show with Giovanni Heater.
Oh, it was a bloodbath in the Dome on Halloween night. 27-10, the final score. Syracuse falls at the hands of Bill Belichick in North Carolina in a game in which the Orange amassed just 39 passing yards and 4 passing completions on the offensive side of the football. Meanwhile, the defense surrenders North Carolina's best rushing outcome so far in the 2025 season. Across the board disappointment for Syracuse football. They drop another dud, this time on a Friday night inside the JMA Dome. Giovanni Heater with you on the Burdick postgame show to unpack it all. Thanks so much for hanging out with us, whether you're listening on 97.7, 100.1 on your commute home. That's ESPN Syracuse. Or if you're hanging out with us on Cuse Sports Talk, whether that's chat, the Twitch, pardon me, the YouTube. So glad to join you on your Friday night, on your Halloween. And we go back to the phone lines real quick here. The number to call is 315-437-7644. The Massage Envy hotline. You can find them, as always, Massage Envy. We go to Jake in Iowa once again. So I think Jake's a little upset with me. Jake, what you got, my friend?
Gio, I just disagree with your assessment that this isn't on Fran Brown. Last week against a ranked Georgia Tech opponent with a great defense, Ricky Collins came out of the halftime. What did he do? He threw 2 passes that led to 1 touchdown. You're telling me he couldn't have done that tonight against UNC's defense? Like, I know Ricky Collins stinks. I totally disagree. I put this all on Fran tonight. I think he totally gave up the opportunity to win. I know we all think Ricky Collins stinks, but you can't even say on the air what tonight's quarterback play was. Thanks for taking my call, bud.
Yeah, appreciate you as always, Jake. It's tough to disagree with you there. I'm surprised when you saw the product on the field that they made this decision. I am. I don't think anybody saw a world in which they complete 4 passes for 39 yards. Like, that's just not power conference football. And again, this is North Carolina they were playing against. This is not Georgia Tech. This is not Miami. This is not Notre Dame. This is not even Clemson. This is a 2-5 North Carolina team that had not won a conference game. We did see Ricky go 2 plays for a touchdown. Jake, I think you would agree with me on this, though. That first ball to Jonte Cook. Jonte Cook beat his defender by about 4 steps, was wide open for a touchdown down the sideline. Ricky saw him way too late, then way underthrows that ball. Sure, it ends up being a big play of like 30-something yards, and Jonte Cook makes a nice adjustment to reel it in. But Nevertheless, like, I didn't think that was super impressive out of Ricky and was kind of lucky to make that play. And then the crosser where the next one goes for a touchdown, he also gets a little fortunate where the Georgia Tech defenders run right into each other and the one trips the other one up. And after the quick slant, there's nobody there in the second level of the defense to make any kind of a tackle. So I hear you, and he did go 2 plays to score a touchdown, but I actually felt like the deep ball was way underthrown, should have been a touchdown if it was timed up a little bit better. And then you just got a little lucky on the slant with the defenders running into each other. Still a nice moment. Don't get me wrong. But I do agree with you in the sense that, okay, I think Ricky probably gives you the best shot to win going out here on out. Like, I don't think we've seen anything out of Luke Carney. Definitely didn't see anything today out of Joe Filardi that would indicate they are the best option going forward. Because to Jake and Iowa's point, Ricky Collins wasn't going 4 of 18 for 39 yards tonight. I just don't think that's the case. Filardi had 7 carries for 8 yards as well, right? That factors in sack yardage. I understand that, but I just don't think there's a world where Ricky is only throwing the ball for 39 yards tonight. As poor as he has played, as much as he has turned the football over, right? Like that was the biggest problem with Ricky, was the turnovers. Going into last week, and he did a better job of taking care of the ball last week. Didn't throw a pick last week. But going into last week, he had thrown 7 interceptions across the 3 previous losses and 8 total interceptions on the season in the 4 games he had played, right? Took care of the ball a little bit better last week against Georgia Tech. The 1 turnover was a fumble, wasn't an interception. But nevertheless, I am back on the Ricky train as far as that being Syracuse's best chance to win football games. I'm being told Fran Brown is approaching the podium, so we're going to keep it here. Yeah, I think we're going to keep it here and wait for Fran Brown to get up there and get to the podium, because I would hate to have Fran be taking the podium while we are in the midst of a break. So we'll wait for Fran. 315-437-7644 is the number to call, and we invite you to call in, give your thoughts on the Syracuse loss to North Carolina, and break it all down with us. We're right here on ESPN Syracuse and Cuse Sports Talk. Taking a look at some more of the numbers here, right? Gio Lopez on the other side, he goes 15-19 for 216 yards, 2 tuds. This is one of his better games of the season, folks. And it came against Syracuse's defense. You look at his game log and you go game by game this year and what he was able to do through the air. This is the most passing yards he has had in a game all season long. This is the best completion percentage he has had in a game all season long, and it's really not that close. And this is tied for the most touchdown passes he's had in a game all season long. And on top of it, it's only his 4th turnover-free football game this season without throwing an interception. He threw 2 picks against UCF, 2 picks against Virginia, and a pick against TCU. So against power conference teams, he's thrown an interception in every game but 1. It was the loss on the road at Cal 2 weeks ago. He didn't throw an interception, but he did not throw an interception tonight against Syracuse. This was the most efficient. This was the most take care of the football, manage the game well, high IQ football performance out of Gio Lopez. And he really, when he had to, carved up Syracuse's defense. Again, best completion percentage, tied for best touchdowns, no interceptions. This was really the best performance you've seen out of Gio Lopez. By far and away the best QBR. Not even close. 86 was the QBR tonight. Second best this year was 60.5 against Cal. The only other game where he didn't throw a pick in the power conference category, that was a couple of weeks ago. So Gio Lopez carved up the Cuse tonight. Carolina ran the ball incredibly well. And that was the other blunder if you're Syracuse, was North Carolina ran the ball better than they have in any game all season long to this point. 209 yards on the ground, that's their best. Damon June ended up with 13 carries, 101 yards, averaged 7.8 yards a carry, and had a touchdown on top of it. We are going to take a short break. When we come back, we should have Coach Fran Brown's press conference. Feel free to give us a ring. 315-437-7644 is the number to call. 27-10, the final score in the Dome. North Carolina takes down Syracuse. We're back after this, continuing our post-game coverage. You're listening to Cuse Sports Talk and ESPN Syracuse.
This is Orange Nation.
Fran Brown, brought to you every week by Great Lakes Honda City.
Chat. How are we doing, chat? Yeah.
If he shows up, let's say he shows up now, we're literally killing everything.
Mm-hmm.
You'll just come in and be like, Fran Brown to the podium.
Okay.
And go to him, and then I'll just rebuild the break.
Okay.
Because then coming out of it, we'll just have to go back to break, and then you'll react.
Gotcha.
But
Jordan just said, I would guess 30 seconds. Great.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's all right. Okay. Yeah. All right. And with that, we're gonna toss it to Fran Brown's press conference right now, live in the middle of the break. We'll continue the break after this. Here's Coach.
Fran, for a lot of the season, you talked about treating Ricky Collins' development like he was a freshman and needing time. Why did you decide sort of 4 games was enough?
Just try to get something new to happen. Just something to keep going on and being able to move. It was a month straight of football, and we got other kids on the football team also, right? And just trying to get a new spark or something different to be able to move, hoping that would give our team a little bit of momentum.
And it had Luke and Joe played better than you in practice, or was it that just sort of a hope that something good might happen?
No, it's always about play. I wouldn't hope. Like, I couldn't hope with people's future or hope on the block S or anything of that nature. So anytime everyone that gets in the game, it's all about how you play and how you produce in practice. Practice is based on everything. It's just strictly through practice of what happened in practice, how he was reading the defense, doing things of that nature. I mean, his first time playing, of course, it wasn't all the passing things that you win. I thought he tried to protect the football, running the football. See, a lot of times you guys just want to blame the quarterback, but there's a lot, like 10 other people out there also a lot of times, and there's calls that come from a coordinator and things that may come from the head football coach. So I think everybody got to be on the same page and being able to do those things and move the right way and not just push it all to the quarterback. He just happens to be in that position, but there's a lot of things that we got to do, right? You got to be able to adapt to their playing styles to make things work.
That's right, Frank, which day was it this week that you knew that you wanted Joe to start tonight?
I don't know, probably like Thursday is when we finally decided that. Like Thursday. They split all week, so at the end of the week, it was Thursday.
Can you describe what his rise through the depth chart has been like this season? Came in true freshman, wasn't really in the mix in the spring, I guess, to start, and then now tonight.
I mean, we give everybody reps all through the spring and in the summer, so everybody got equal amount of reps through that time, especially those guys. So the way we practice, you're always on 2 fields. So he got a lot of reps, and I thought he made the best of the reps. I had asked one point in the summer, this kid is really good, guys. I think he might be one of the better quarterbacks on the squad. And people kind of overlooked it and then just went back and watched that, and then I watched what he was doing. When you're on a scout team, you go against the first group. So when you're going against the first group, there's things that you're able to do. So you got to see him do that. I just think it was fast out there tonight. It was a little bit different some of the time, but I think he'll keep getting better.
What is Dan over here and then Aiden in front?
Fran, you're wearing that shirt that says family goes through adversity, 0-5 in these last 5 games. Just what family means to you and what you said to these guys as you go forward after the game.
What family means to me?
What
family means to you and with this team as you step forward?
Family is faith and family is everything. Like, my family is, it means everything. It's two of them too, right? You got my wife and kids. That's my family. That's unconditional, regardless mistakes or whatever may happen. That's through thick and thin. And then I have my football family, who everyone is here, who I love like they're all my brothers. So we're going through a fight along with my wife and kids, because we're all in this together, right? But we're just going through like tough times at the games, right? But I think throughout the week we're practicing well. We're having fun at practice. Guys are competing because it's a football game. It's just a Saturday. And it's the Saturdays that haven't been going the right way, but the rest of the time throughout the week, I mean, it's competitive. Guys are having fun. Guys are getting better. It sucks that they only get graded on Saturday, right? And so that's what I feel bad for them about. If it was just myself, I would be fine, but I know that they got to deal with that and they got to go through all those things. So just got to figure out how to get that changed for them.
And then as far as Anwar Sparrow, just that positive, the one scoring play that you had besides the field goal, just what you've seen from Sparrow as he's gone through.
I thought he's dealt with adversity since I've been here, from in the beginning of at the end of last year, thinking about going into the portal, then coming out of the portal, and then being on the football team, to about a week and a half ago of didn't get in the game at all just because of him, just the mindset of like, dang, I'm a senior, I didn't play. I was just a little bit upset. So then him getting his start tonight, he actually got a start, and then he was able to score. So I'm happy for him. I think that him, Joe, different guys show you to continue to have faith and work extremely hard, because you never know when your number will be called, and you need to be ready, right? In life, with all of us, right? We're all in, all you guys are in the jobs that you want. You just got to keep working. You got to accept your role, embrace your role, so that way you're able to change your role. And I think those guys are two examples of guys that just kept working and kept their head down. And when the opportunity presented itself, they were able to be in the moment.
We have a question from Aiden here, and then go to Mark in front after that.
Yeah, Coach, was there any thought at all of putting Ricky back in the game, or was he available if needed tonight?
I mean, I thought about it naturally to run through your mind, but it just wouldn't have been fair to the rest of the kids or to him. I mean, just to be able to come back in, and now I'm coming in, I have to go throw and things of that nature. So it was like, I mean, of course you thought about it. I thought it at the end, though, right? I thought when it was like, game was over, you just start thinking of stuff, and it just wasn't the time to do that.
Coach, right here. Even though you said Joe earned the start tonight, it's quite a challenge, though, throwing a true freshman, a walk-on who was way down the depth chart, to go out against one of the best defensive coaches in football history. So what was his mindset, you think, coming into the game? And
I thought it would be a little bit nervous, but it'd be straight. But it was also, it would have been a challenge because Ricky never got to play, right, at all. And then the first time he got in the game here was his first time playing, right, against a football team. And then if you go back through it, now it's just me like saying that, Coach, like, we got to get a quarterback. We got some things we got to do. But you guys kept asking me, are you going to get another quarterback? We get another quarterback. Are we going to get another quarterback? And then when you get the opportunity to see another quarterback, now you want to question, like, why do we have another quarterback? We just had another quarterback because he beat them out in practice, right? It's all based on practice. So the reason he played is because he won in practice. He done things in practice where all of us looked at it and we felt as though he would be the guy that could go in to help keep the game manageable, so that way we can get an opportunity of winning, right? You practice hard as heck all week long, and that gives you a chance to win. It doesn't mean you will, right? It's 50-50. Every week is 50-50. Either you will or you won't, right? There's no, well, you got a 97% chance. Either you will or you won't. That's usually the result. So I look at that like being 50-50 every weekend.
What a Maddie on the TV platform back.
Hey, Coach. You talked about getting takeaways and scoring points and how that kind of leads to momentum. You guys had that kind of going into halftime. What did you see from either the offense or the defense that kind of, I guess, withered away the momentum, heading into the second half? I
think that three and outs, and then allowing them to drive all the way down the field and end up with a field goal. I thought that early on we did a really good job in red zone defense. guys being able to make them attempt to go and make field goals instead of touchdowns. So that was something that was I thought was good, and it was something to build on from a defensive perspective. I feel like the last few weeks, if you just watch the football game and not the ending score and all, you'll say, okay, the defense is playing and getting to do things, but eventually you get tired, right? Like 3 and out. We only have the same amount. We're still building depth because they're young guys, right? And young guys got to continue to stay focused and we growing up. That's what I can say. It's tough to just stay on the football field and play 80 plays or go 3 and out. Then they end. I got to come back in. And I get a 3 and out. Well, I got to come back in. We get a 12-play drive. Okay, we make them kick a field goal. Good to go. And then after 3 plays, you right back in. Eventually, those guys will wear out and won't be able to keep manning up and just being able to make their plays. But it's we're growing, right? They're young. There's a lot of freshmen and sophomore on the football field, so it's promise.
Fran, to this point, as you search for answers at quarterback, how come Jakari Williams hasn't been given consideration?
It's all based on practice. Yeah, based on practice, he got an opportunity to go in and be able to compete at certain things, and at that moment, he was beat out by that, so it's just practice-based, right? And then when you do get into practice, so I could teach y'all what the little practice piece is like, right? You got 1s and 2s, and then you got 3s who obviously on the scout, then you got the opposite. There's not a lot of reps to keep getting everybody reps, so they have to make the best of those reps, and when they do make the best of those reps, now you want to send those guys to the 1s and 2s, and then you have an alternate sitting right there waiting, but then you got the 4th and the 5th quarterback down there trying to run the scout team and trying to do those things, right? So there's not that many plays unless they allow us to have more than 20 hours a week of practice, and if they allow me to have more than 20 hours, then we'll have an opportunity of getting more reps for everybody, but there's not that many reps to be able to get that done for everybody it's not like 5 people are competing to be the starter. When you go into a week, it's 3 guys, right? Those 3 guys have an opportunity of seeing who will beat each other out.
Okay, last Super Coach will finish with WADR and Ashley on the platform.
Coach, obviously, this was kind of, you mentioned earlier in the week that there might be some shuffling with the quarterbacks, but I imagine that Joe probably assumed the first time he'd be on the field was playing lacrosse, not football. So I just am curious what that conversation was like with him, and even if he took it kind of positively and said, I'm ready to go, did you feel like, this was kind of a surprise to him at all? Did he really believe that he could rise up the depth chart this season and actually start in a game when the season started?
I mean, I feel like due to the fact of him knowing every play, it wasn't like plays were busted out there, right? So it should tell you where our program is from a growing standpoint. You had a freshman who came in that you guys had. I told you said he was the 5th quarterback or something like that, you said. So you had a freshman that came in that was on the scout team, 5th string. He was running routes in the spring at receiver sometime just to make sure. So that shows you how well we are teaching, right, and getting them to understand. There wasn't a busted play. There wasn't things of that nature. So he was able to continue to stay focused on the playbook, learning all the things and staying locked in, which says a lot about who he is as a kid. Because most kids, when they don't play and they're on the scout team, they just got the big lip, and then they're upset and they're not focused. So he was able to still know every play on offense, be able to use all those plays. So I think it'll be promised there. There's some things that, of course, you look at. Okay, you need to make this. Hey, you need to do that. That was his first time in live bullets. He didn't throw them the ball. Right now, he didn't throw us the ball a whole lot either, but he didn't throw them the ball. He fumbled one time just on a run around. I think he can run. You've seen that. He has the ability to scramble. I think he'll be a good player. There's a lot of guys that have been walk-ons that went to school and doing really well, like Baker Mayfield's doing extremely well. I was with Stetson Bennett at Georgia, who's doing extremely well in it. So you just got to give them time, right? Just blame all those things. I'm always telling y'all there's certain things that go on, but we got a lot of freshmen and sophomore on the football field, and I understand and I know I want to win, guys. Like I want to win by all means, right? And last year we were able to go do that, but I had 12 guys leave and go to the NFL. So when 12 dudes go play in the National Football League, naturally it wasn't 12 waiting to go to the league the next year. So we have to build and keep going, right? You've seen Kyle McCord out there. We don't have Kyle there yet, but maybe when he's a fourth-year guy to be able to play, one of those guys that have the opportunity of being that, or us having a chance of, being able to get Steve back next year, things of that nature. But it just takes time, and it's a young football team. I mean, when was the last time there was a national championship here? And so sometimes, like, I want to win today. I want to win every time. I want to make sure I do that. Like conference championship and the ACC. When the last time we won the ACC? All right, so stop all this. We just been winning every year. I just want to make sure that it's going. We're going to get this going, and we're going to keep building it, and it's going to be done the right way. And as we do start to win, we're going to be able to sustain it. And we're going to think about this and understand and know that, okay, they really were building stuff. Like Byron Washington started, right? There was other freshman offensive linemen that got in. Freshman corner, sophomore safety, sophomore linebacker, freshman linebacker, D lineman, 2 freshmen on the D line were playing. So you got 2 freshman receivers getting in all across the board. Sophomore running back, another freshman running back. All those guys playing. The quarterback was a freshman tonight, 2 of them that actually played. So guys, I was in a game tonight with about 18 freshmen. Back in the day, 18 freshmen don't even get in the game. They're just sitting on the sideline the entire time. You wait to be a redshirt sophomore until you play football. We didn't win. It sucks. That's on Coach Fran. But when it gets built the right way and you're trying to do it right and you want to win, I want to do it with the guys that I know are bought in. And it should show you that Velarde got an opportunity of coming in and playing and didn't play all year, wasn't even on y'all ranking to see it, and he knew every play. So that shows where the coach is at, and that shows all those things of that nature and how we're going to continue to build and do it the right way. So if you got any faith or any hope, if I was you, I would put my money on Fran and put the money on our players, because we're not going to stop. We won't quit. We're going to keep working ourselves out and everything will go.
Last question to Ashley.
Coach, I know you mentioned that obviously the struggles that you guys are going through goes beyond the quarterback position, right? I'm just curious as to what your message has been to some of the guys in the receiver room, because you do have a young team, but there are some seniors in that wide receiver room. Just what's your message been to those guys?
To the night, I told them they needed to step up. They got to make plays. Don't tell me somebody can't do something and then we just got to go make plays. So I told them we just need to step up. We got to make some plays for them. If there's 50-50 ball, why they keep getting it? You got to make those plays, right? So there were some plays that they need to make. There's a little bit of they got to pick it up, right? When you're the senior leg room and you got some things that have to be done, they need to go, because everyone always pushes to the quarterback. But was the route ran right? When you did have an opportunity to catch the ball, were you able to catch it, right? There's different things that happen. Momentum comes and goes extremely fast, right? So that's why I don't like when we always just say the cue or even just say a position group, right? And I'm not saying they're not playing well, but everyone has to step up. Everyone has to continue to get better. And if you're not one of the freshmen or the sophomore guys that are just in, it is your job to lead everyone else that are younger than you to get them to do it the right way. But ultimately, it's mine. So everything, I know the laws. Guys, I can handle everything that's going to come. Fran needs to do this. A needs to do that. Just understand and know that that's on Fran. That was on myself, right? Let's continue to push that. One positive I can say is usually it's been lopsided with the turnovers. This week, it wasn't lopsided, right? It was 1-1, right? We got to be able to stop the run, but we got to run the ball. We also got to be able to pass. How much did we pass for, 50 yards or something, 30 yards? But, you got to, it's not. We got to pick all of those little things up. So from a coordinating perspective, those guys got to get a little bit more creative so we can get things done. And I'm not saying they're not doing a great job. Things aren't right. So don't take it and go it that way. But we got to be able to adapt to our players' ability so we can go out and find a way to get a win. And next week, we got a big team we got to go play, right? We get to go down to Miami and compete against them. So we got to go do everything we can to find a way to get a win. Thank you, guys. I appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
Fran Brown, the head coach of the Orange, as always, after the 27-10 loss at the hands of Bill Belichick in North Carolina in the Dome. We're up against a break. 315-437-7644 is the number to call if you want to chime in, give your thoughts on Fran Brown's post-game press conference and the Syracuse loss to North Carolina. Plenty to unpack with what Coach had to say right around the corner. You're listening to Cuse Sports Talk and ESPN Syracuse.
Superior strength. This is Orange Nation.
Steve, it's Halloween.
It is.
And you never did any of the... Ooh, chat. I'm not going to lie. There was some stuff Fran said there that I was a little surprised he said. Yeah, I don't agree with you in the YouTube chat, Clubber. I feel like it's not just coaching, like that Ricky struggles as well, because this coaching staff, you saw what they did with Kyle McCord last year. You saw what they did with even Steve Angeli. Like, I don't agree with that. I don't think he does. I know I appreciate your sentiment saying he has the talent, but I think he's got to get his feet wet a little bit at a lower level. Yeah, Kyle went to Ohio State. Ricky went to LSU. Ohio State and Notre Dame. Ricky had coaching at LSU. Those are all in the same, cut from the same cloth. I think this argument is like silly. LSU has dropped off, sure. I mean, Brian Kelly just got fired, but Jaden Daniels won a Heisman under Brian Kelly as the quarterback at LSU. Won the Heisman Trophy. How can you say that the coaching is that bad? The man won the Heisman Trophy as the quarterback at LSU. Well, Ricky Collins was there as his backup. Fran is not clueless about football. All right, let's check out the Twitch chat for a minute here. Yeah, I'm with you, Cuse fan 2144. I was surprised with some of the stuff Fran said in there. I'm going to unpack it. But yeah, I agree. I agree with some of the stuff you're saying. Yeah, and I know Bigsby, he didn't play at LSU, but the YouTube comment had some chats, or the YouTube chat had some comments saying like the training he got, the coaching he got was like Steve Angeli didn't really play at Notre Dame. I get he played a little bit in that playoff game under those circumstances, but he didn't start games or anything at Notre Dame. And the point was that the Ohio State and Notre Dame coaching that those two were given was so much better than the coaching Ricky was given at LSU, that's why Ricky's so far behind. It's bad coaching, and I just don't agree with that. I mean, Jaden Daniels won the Heisman at LSU. Quarterback succeeded there. I think it just has to do with Kyle McCord and Angeli are good. And Ricky Collins is probably not ready for this level, I think is what I would say about that. I mean, I do think, David, to your point in the YouTube chat, like, oh, we're coming back. $27-10, the final score in the Dome. Syracuse falls at the hands of North Carolina. Another disappointing loss for the Cuse. Make it now 5 straight for this Syracuse football team in 2025. 5 straight losses for the Orange. We're here to unpack it all on Cuse Sports Talk and ESPN Syracuse. Give us a call. Air your grievances. 315-437-7644 is the number. Bottom line in this one is Syracuse really, really struggled on the offensive side of the football. Passing game only goes for 39 yards, 4 total completions, a historically bad performance for Syracuse offensively in the quarterback position. Let's go ahead and unpack some of the things that Fran Brown said in that press conference afterwards. One thing that really, really surprised me and was really, really un-Fran Brown-like was he had a quote that was something along the lines of, and this is not going to be exact because I was kind of typing it in the moment as he was saying it, but it was something along the lines of, I don't know what you're expecting, why you're expecting to win every year. We haven't won, saying we meaning Syracuse. We haven't won a national championship since 1959, and we have never won the ACC. It was something along those lines. I thought that was really surprising right there. I thought that was a surprising thing to hear from Fran Brown in this game and in this post-game press conference, because this is a guy that said when he came here that he wanted to win a national championship, right? This was a guy that said when he got here that
Steve, it's Halloween.
He was locked in on
you never did any of the
winning a national championship, and that was the goal, that was the mission. And so to say, I don't know why you're expecting to win, it just almost kind of screams.
You never killed it, so you just went to break. Talk.
Mic check. 1 2 1 2. It usually kills on its own, no?
No, I know, but because you never killed the music, the auto stayed on.
Oh, but it always just kills on its own.
Let me see it.
Yeah. Appreciate you rolling with us with the technical difficulties here.
% financing up to 60 months. Lease or buy, you get Toyota Care. No cost maintenance and roadside assistance for the first 2 years. This sporty Corolla has Toyota Safety Sense with lane assist, lane departure alerts, pedestrian detection, and gets an impressive 41 miles per gallon highway. Be one of the first to lease the all-new 2026 Corolla LE. Lease yours for just $266 a month or buy it only 24/7. Must finance with TFS Tier 1 Plus, 36 months, 10,000 miles per year, 15 cents excess mileage fee. Romano Toyota, Bridge Street. Shop 24/7 at RomanoCars.com.
Dean Henderson wrote an epic about the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers.
Men who designed dynasties, always thinking ahead, always thinking about the family fortunes.
Here at Mannion and Copani, we applaud that kind of thinking.
Because we've seen too much of not thinking ahead, not thinking about their family's fortunes.
There's a beautiful Victorian home in Cicero built in 1930 by industrious grandparents.
That home was lost to long-term care.
A grand Georgian home in Manlius with magnificent manicured grounds.
Lost to long-term care. And it doesn't have to be that way. Today, a family trust is a must.
I'm Terry.
I'm Tony. We've saved many family fortunes.
A quick call can solve it all. 478-3500.
Good morning, Mannion and Copani. I'm Jackie. Yes, Syracuse. Right here at 224 Harrison Street, Suite 306. Yes, MedicaidLaw.net. You're welcome.
Go see why it's gotta be Nye at NiAuto.com. Hi, I'm Dan Church, General Manager for the Nye Automotive Group in Oneida and Rome, official partner of the Syracuse Orange. I know what you're thinking, Central New York. You're thinking, bring back the Nye Auto song that we love so much. Well, it will return, but the news is so awesome this month that I had to get the word out. Did you know that interest rates actually went down for the first time this year? Every little bit helps you get closer to the monthly payment that you can afford with a vehicle that you will love. With all the incredible deals we're making, we're taking in just as many trades to help you stock up, Central New York, with a massive selection of new and pre-owned pre-owned vehicles to choose from. I urge you to check out our Google pages for all the Nye Auto locations. You won't be disappointed. One thing we do great at is giving our customers a no-hassle buying experience. We don't play games with trades, like telling you every vehicle's worth at least $4,000 only to take it off the rebates. I mean, is that even ethical? Listen, Central New York, come to a dealer you can trust. Come to Nye. With 6 locations and 10 franchises, you won't be disappointed. So come see why it's gotta be Nye before you buy. Stop in and see or shop us online at nyeauto.com. That's NYEAUTO.com. You won't regret it.
Myers Creek Inner Harbor is proud to host the Coach Fran Brown Show every week. Stop by the tap room from 7 to 8 to watch the show live. It's hosted by the voice of the Orange, Matt Park, and Coach Fran Brown will be providing insight into each week's matchup while sipping on the official Coach Fran Shirley Temple. You could also enjoy a Dart Pilsner that proceeds benefit the SU Football NIL. See the full schedule at MyersCreekBrewing.com. Let's
CuseSportsTalk.com.
Final segment of our post-game coverage as Syracuse falls to North Carolina in the Dome, 27-10, the final score on Halloween night. As we take you to the midnight hour, officially in the Twilight Zone. Here in studio, Giovanni Heater with you for the Burdick post-game show. 27-10, the final. A disappointing loss once again for Syracuse. They fall to Bill Belichick and company. 39 total passing yards in the game for Syracuse's offense. Just 4 completions in the passing game for true freshman starter Joe Filardi. And now Syracuse is tasked with the difficult decision. Do you go back to Ricky? Where do you go from here with the quarterback position? I think you got to go back to Ricky. I think that's where you have to go if you're Fran Brown and company. I appreciated the experiment. I was excited about it when they had announced it because it felt like you knew what you had in Ricky and Luke Carney, and it felt like, okay, this is something new. Maybe it's a spark. And it clearly fell flat of all of that in just about every way. 39 passing yards was just something that was not even really in your thought process of being possible. And that's exactly what happened tonight against the defense that has shown some improvements the last couple of weeks in Chapel Hill, but is far from a defensive unit that has been strong and stout throughout the year. Actually, particularly against the passing game. They were better in the run than they were in the pass going into it. So it begs the question of, where do you go from here if you're Syracuse football? You have 3 games left. You got to go play at Miami. You got to go play at Notre Dame. You got to play Boston College, right? You've now lost 5 straight games. And there's really nowhere else to go but up, I guess. I don't know how you would fall further from grace as far as 4 completions and 39 yards and not eclipsing more than 145 yards of total offense in the game. So you got to think that it's only up, right? Last chance to give us a call, 315-437-7644 is the number. And this is our Improving the Team, brought to you by Auburn Community Hospital. Auburn Community Hospital is improving their team. Apply today at auburncommunityhospital.org. Where do you go from here if you're Syracuse? I think you go back to Ricky. One of the only promising things is I thought Syracuse did an okay job of establishing the run a little bit in this game. Yassine Willis was ripping off a couple of nice chunk runs. 15 carries, 61 yards in the game, averaged 4.1 yards a carry. Will Nixon had 5.8 yards a carry. That's kind of more like what you'd like to see on the ground out of Syracuse, ran the ball for 110 yards as a team in this one. I think defensively they did some solid things in that first half and then were just on the field too much, then gave up the big plays. You have to find a way to shore up some of the big plays. That's where North Carolina really killed you. June ended up having the 44-yard touchdown run. He also had the 72-yard halfback screen that went to the house for a touchdown. So he killed you in open space with big play ability and hit a couple of home runs in this game. If you're Syracuse going from here, you wonder how long that locker room stays fully intact, right? I mean, that's a testament to the culture of Fran Brown that it's still together at this point, right? So I think his biggest task is keeping them as a unit going forward for the rest of the season. I don't know if there's another win on the schedule, folks, if the quarterback play looks like that. Boston College is not good. They're a one-win football team, but let's face it, this Syracuse team has not won a game without Steve Angeli as its quarterback. So you might as well chalk them up as winless at this point. Boston College is really going to be your best bet. Probably not a world where they go and beat Miami or Notre Dame. Probably going to be 17-plus point underdogs in both of those, both on the road. Wouldn't be shocked if the number crept up towards 22, 23 points, if not more, as far as the point spread goes, with trips to Miami and Notre Dame. Got to beat Boston College. That would get you to 5, and then maybe you can somehow find a way to, or sorry, that would get you to 4. And then, yeah, it's just you're not in a good spot as far as getting to a bowl goes. Probably not going to happen if you're Syracuse. So you'd have to be flawless the rest of the way, and that seems pretty impossible at this point. So we'll see. The tough thing too about all this is Calvin Russell, 5-star wide receiver, was in the house for 2 games this year. He came for the Duke game, and he came for the North Carolina game, both in which Syracuse struggled immensely on offense, showed little to no pulse offensively in the passing game, and you're trying to keep the commitment of this 5-star receiver. And you just got to hope that you can convince him that it's going to look different when Steve Angeli's in there. Luckily, there's some tape to show him to support that statement, but that's another one of those things that is definitely a standout, maybe long-term effect of games like this that have happened far too often. Syracuse, in the 5 losses this year, has scored 3 points, 18 points, 13 points, 16 points, and 10 points. They have not scored more than 18 points since they beat Clemson in September. Kind of where they're at. We appreciate you hanging out with us. We appreciate everyone that called in. Unfortunately, it wasn't with good news, but thank you for spending the rest of your Halloween night with us. Thanks for hanging with us all day. Mike and I had you covered all the way from 4:30 all the way up to kickoff. Now, after the game, you bared with us through the technical difficulties at times today. We appreciate that. Flipping the script of basketball season, we got hoops on Monday. I'll have you covered pregame and postgame right here in this chair for Syracuse basketball on Monday. Looking forward to that. We'll have Orange Nation all week, noon to 2. We'll have drive time 5 to 6 with Tim Leonard. So be sure to tap in. Be sure to be engaged on the Cuse Sports Talk social medias as always. For Paul McCoy, my awesome producer behind the scenes, show doesn't happen without him. I'm Giovanni Heater saying so long and good night from our studios here in downtown Syracuse. We'll talk to you on Monday for some basketball pregame and postgame coverage. We'll have Orange Nation as well on Monday. We'll talk to you then. One more time, 27-10, the final score in the Dome. Syracuse falls at the hands of North Carolina. As always, this has been a presentation of Cuse Sports Talk and ESPN Syracuse.